Hello and good morning to our listeners from around the world. I want to welcome you again to another fantastic edition of This Morning with Soulivity, broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. My name is Brian Wesley Johnson, and I'm joined today by my very, very special friends, Dr. Chanel DeGuzman and Sheila Applegate. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Wow. So we're almost at the end of the week, and I've got to find out from both of you, how has your week been? So, Dr. Chanel, how about you?
Well, I've had a lot of ice cream, a lot of banana bread, a lot of cookies, and almond chocolate bars. So honestly, I'm just being transparent. It's been an up and down week, but it ended like I shared earlier. My son and I will be visiting Howard University next Tuesday, so it ended on a very high note. So thank you.
I have to do this. You know. All right.
Okay.
Sheila, what about you? How's your week been?
It's been going well. I feel like there's some strange energy in the air. Just everybody's seeming to notice lots of serendipities and strange occurrences, and I've been right there.
Yeah, I feel that too. I think my week has kind of reflected that. Maybe it has something to do with like what's happening in the world regarding like the financial system and all that. But it's just been kind of funky good, I should say.
Yeah.
Funky good, you know. All right, we have a very, very special guest I'm going to introduce for today's hot topic. It's so good, y'all. I mean, oh my gosh, I can't wait for you guys to meet her. But before we get started, I just want to remind our audience, listen, we want your questions, your comments, your thoughts. This is an interactive conversation. That's how we get to empowerment. We talk to each other. Just post directly to our live chats on either YouTube or Facebook, and we'll do shout outs to you and, get you on air so that we can get you involved. Listen, today I want to introduce our very, very special guest, Melina Carcinelli, who is the founder and CEO of First Amendment First Vote. Man, I've been looking forward to her being on here. Let me just read a little bit about her really quickly. And this is her bio is amazing, so just buckle up, everybody. Melina spent her professional career as a public school teacher and administrator, retiring from that service in 2008. However, before that retirement, she was busy following her entrepreneurial dream and founded Treble Associates, a workplace consulting firm that specializes in leadership and organizational development. Now, during this time, she also co-created Room Full of Sisters, an enterprising event of Treble Associates now produced and convened annually at Auburn Public Theater in Auburn, New York, which is a celebration of all women and girls. Now, additionally, her many accomplishments in public service are far reaching. I'm just going to try to go through these a little bit here. She was the first woman to be elected mayor of the city of Auburn, New York. Unfortunately, she also says that she's the only one, but we're going to fix that. She has held many volunteer community positions over the years and was instrumental in creating Tomato Fest of CNY, the Harriet Tubman Freedom Park in Auburn, and Leadership Cayuga County. Now, in March 2012, she was appointed to a 6-year term on the Board of Trustees of Cayuga Community College by then New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Melina is also a member of Zona International Club, Democratic Women of Cayuga County, and Women's March of Siena Falls. She is also a past recipient of the Central New York Now Unsung Heroine Award, Catholic Charities of the Finger Lakes Sharing the Light Award for her local social justice work, and was named a Woman of Distinction by the New York State Senate. She also became the first recipient of the Martin Luther King Jr. Drum Major Award for founding the Mayor's Social Justice Task Force in Auburn. Now, I'm going to go into the last paragraph here, so keep buckling in because this is so great. After her years of public service, Melina founded Metrotron Travel and now organizes and leads intimate travel groups to sacred sites and energy vortexes in North America and Europe. In December 26, along with other women's rights activists, Melina led the development and implementation of the Women's March in Siena Falls on January 20th, 2017, and each January since. Woo! Since she's currently working on plans for Women's March of Siena Falls, as well as heading up a civic engagement initiative for high school girls called First Amendment First Vote, and a localized campaign leadership program for adult women called Women Elect. When not traveling, Melina enjoys creating delicious treats for her family and friends and has begun a memoir entitled My Melina, a love story between a Sicilian blue eyed immigrant grandmother and the granddaughter who bears her name. Wow. Welcome,
Wow.
Melina. Oh my goodness. I was just like, I couldn't keep from smiling as I'm like reading this. That's why I was kind of messing up. Like, what a legacy you are leaving our young girls and women.
Oh, Brian, thank you so much and good morning. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Wow.
Phew, I'm tired listening to all this.
I was going to ask Brian how many times did he practice? Those were some big words in there too.
There were some Haudenosaunee words in there. We should have told you how to say.
Well, listen.
Yes, and
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, and may I say that the Women's March is in Seneca Falls, New York. And the reason that I say that is as Seneca Falls, because it is touted as the birthplace of women's rights in America, but not everybody agrees with that moniker. But it is the location in central New York on Haudenosaunee territory where the first women's rights convention was held in America in 1848. Wow. So my inspiration comes from the sacred ground I live on.
Wow.
I love that. I love that. I guess my first question is, and I'll take liberty because I'm the host here. Can you talk a little bit about that journey specifically? I know it's got to be special because of the power that I feel when I'm even reading about it. So can you talk about your journey that led you to create this wonderful organization for young girls?
Oh yeah, yes, and I'm really honored and quite blessed with that journey, because it began years and years and years ago. I'm a woman of a certain age, you might know. And I can recall as a very, very, very young girl, probably kindergarten age, that I would canvass the neighborhood with my mother and her dear friend, Babe, who were always looking to help people in the community. And I started out by going door to door with the March of Dimes campaign with them.
Oh yeah.
To raise money and
right.
So the journey began way back when, as I watched my mother and Babe really be in service to their neighborhood, and that continued throughout my life and throughout my childhood, and it kind of always has been a part of me to be of service in any way that I can, but it certainly has turned out to be public service and uplifting the status of women and girls at any possible turn that I can.
Right.
So that's where my journey began, and I haven't stopped. It really fills me, and it really energizes me, and as much as I can give back is really what I want to do. I do always feel blessed in my life for what I have accomplished and what opportunities have been presented to me. So that's my that's my captain story.
Your early years. Well,
My
I
early
am
years.
blessed. I've known you since the room full of sisters, and and you've been like a sister and a friend and all of that. I know, having a background with you, I know that you at the Women's March, first of all, that inspiration to bring it to Seneca Falls in a conjunction with those who were doing it in Washington, D.C., that was a pinnacle point for you, I think, as far as the inspiration to begin the First Amendment first vote. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh yes. As a matter of fact, it was actually a download of inspiration while we were hosting the event. That was January 20th, 2017. And a small group of really activist, feminist, dedicated women and I put together the Women's March, held on that sacred ground of women's rights and the journey for equality in every way. And we put that event together, a rally and a march, in conjunction with the 200 marches that happened all around the world on that day. And there were 15,000 people that came to the smallest village, excuse me, in central New York, and people were all over the streets and the sidewalks and the park that we were, and just spilling out with with their activism, and it was so beautiful and so inspirational. And while I was listening to one of the women who were speaking, I thought, I was looking at the crowd, and there were so many young people there, teenagers and young children, and just all ages. But it was the teenagers who really kind of popped out at me in that sea of wonderful people, and I thought, oh my goodness, we need to harness this energy, and what can we do to continue this type of gathering, which was, by the way, 15,000 people. And when the rally was over, there was not one piece of litter on the grounds where we were.
Wow.
Those salient pieces. I stood back after everybody left to help clean up. And I literally, there was not even a gum wrap. There was nothing on the ground. And that was such a real display of respect and honor for the land and for each other. So anyway, that download came to me. It's like, oh, let's figure out what we can do to keep this energy going. And as a result of that, there were several of us that got together after that to think about it. And I kind of, the inspirational download that came to me was, why not put my background together, the social justice piece that's always been a part of who I am, as an educator and as an previous elected official. What can we do? What should I do to put that all together? And frankly, it came to me in that moment. The whole notion of looking toward the teen girls, for their leadership, and what can we do to empower them and bolster them. And that's how it was born. So a few of us got together, came up with First Amendment First Vote, and here we are 6 years later with 175 girls as part of the program.
That is fantastic. Well, we're going to take a quick break because we want to hear even more about this fantastic organization with you. So everybody, we're going to take a very quick break and we'll be back with more of This Morning with Soulivity.
6 years ago when I started Soulivity, my vision was to support everyone in improving their life through the discovery of their passion and purpose, so they could become the best version of themselves, to battle fear and ignorance, and create a better world today. Get inspired to live your passion and purpose. Visit Soulivity.com now.
And we're back. I told you that was going to be a quick break. We're back talking about how we can engage young girls in democracy with Melina Carcinelli, the founder and CEO of First Amendment First Vote. And Dr. Chanel, you had a question.
Well, as I told you all earlier, I'm probably going to just hang back and soak in all this goodness. But I did want to comment, Melina, you obviously got an experiential learning foundation by watching and accompanying your mom and babe. I mean, that was truly boots on the ground. I mean, that is so inspirational. I wish more of our girls could get that, just not probably even knowing what you were actually doing at the time. So that was phenomenal. I would love to hear more about how you build in the experiential learning component in the First Amendment First Vote program with your girls.
Oh, Dr. Chanel, what a wonderful question, because the program is entirely experiential, and opportunities for the girls to not only improve their knowledge base and skills, but to really come to know what living in a democracy is all about, and how a democracy can only be rich and appropriate for everyone when everyone participates and participates for the good of the whole. And so our learning components, if you will, are, and that we call it content, is all about having the girls use their voice, develop their voice, think about using their voice, and participating really in a hands-on way. So having the experience that incorporates all of their senses is really what the program is about. And we could get into the details of the program, but the question is so well taken that we really talk about when we're introducing the program to folks who don't know about it or just learning about it. We really emphasize that point, that it's not a traditional classroom experience at all. We call it a seminar or conference experience, where the girls have the opportunity not only to think about where they are as an individual in the democracy, but also learn from each other during the seminars and the conference sessions. So yeah, it's truly experiential and fun.
Awesome. Thank you.
You know, as I was reading through your bio, Melina, I couldn't help, I'm a product of educators. And I believe that K through 12 education is of immense value in young girls being engaged in the democratic process, and also, finding maybe a career in public service. Do you agree? Do you think that schools play a role?
Oh gosh, absolutely. I mean, I'm an
Yeah.
educator from way back. I mean, that's my, that's my gig. That's my thing. So I'm an advocate in every way about public education, education in general, and public education, even though there's so much to improve and do all the time.
Right.
But it sure is, and our system in America is well, let me. How am I going to? How am I going to put this?
This is a safe space. So
Yeah, it's really important. It's not only important and vital, it's worthy of examination every single day of the year, and how we can improve it for all learners in all ways, in all different ways. So, and one of the things that continues and to happen in American schools, and in my experience right now with the teen girls that we work with, is there's still a discrepancy about the girls using their voices in the classroom. And there's still a level of reticence and intimidation in their math classes, for example, in their science classes. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, 2023, shouldn't we be recognizing the worth and goodness of
Yes, yes, and yes.
But
in this year of the Lord,
still, it's still happening. And having said all that, it's very worthy, and it's certainly part of the development for the girls that we see come through our program, and the experiences that they're having in their schools. And I'm just so grateful. Right this minute, we have we're based in Central New York and have participation by 23 high schools throughout the state right now. And I shout out to those administrators, those teachers who get it. Yes. They sure get it. And because without them, the program would not be happening for their girls. So in addition to everything that needs improvement, we've got this wonderful, wonderful cadre of people who get it and understand that this opportunity for teen girls is really, really an appropriate step for maintaining a democracy that serves everyone.
Well, listen, we are having so much fun, y'all. We're going to keep this going. I think we'll keep this going into the next segment. How about that?
Absolutely.
Listen, there is even more coming up with this morning with Soulivity. Again, we're talking about how to engage our young girls and young women in democracy and public service. I think it's a very important thing. I think that, by doing so, it helps the whole of society. We need to, get this patriarchal kind of thing, put to bed. So listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more with Melina Carcinelli and First Amendment First Vote right after this. Bye. Hi there, this is Brian with Soulivity.com. I want to share some exciting news about our new Aspire Academy by Soulivity. Now, you probably want to know what the Aspire Academy by Soulivity is. Well, it exclusively connects you with people around the globe and who share the intense desire to improve themselves and create a better life for themselves today. There's classes, there's workshops, there's live events, and even more exclusively just for you. You see, I wanted you to have a safe space where you could grow, you can learn, and it would empower you in all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your soul. So how do you get started? Well, it is so easy. First of all, the best part, joining Aspire Academy is absolutely free. Just click on the Join Now button, sign up, and begin your journey. As a special part of this invitation to you, there are some free courses that are available
for you to try from our amazing roster of coaches and collaborators. It's our way of saying thank you for all of your support and being with us along our journey of expansion. I hope you enjoy the Aspire Academy by Soulivity today. Start the process. Learn more about your passion, your purpose, and how to live a higher quality life.
And we're back with more of This Morning with Soulivity. This is Brian Wesley Johnson, and I'm joined today by my very special friends, Dr. Chanel DeGuzman, Sheila Applegate, and our very special guest, Melina Carcinelli, the founder and CEO of First Amendment First Vote. And Sheila, you had a question.
Yes. Well, just before the break, Dr. Chanel had asked about how you are interactive with the girls who are participating in First Amendment First Vote. And I loved as you were talking about that. And it brought me to thinking about what I absolutely love is the video series that you created with them to show the integration of all the different traditions of this land that are brought together here. Can you tell us about that?
Oh gosh, yes. Thank you, thank you. It's a short film series, award-winning, by the way. It's called Virtual Video Visits along the Central New York Women's Rights Corridor. And what it is all 11 historic women's rights sites, all located on the sacred ground of the Haudenosaunee, and here in Central New York. So to all the listeners and Brian and Dr. Chanel, please think about making a visit to Central New York. You will be so pleased to be in this sacred, soulful place. So the films are 5 short films, each featuring the women's rights sites. And it's thematic around the lifestyle and traditions of the Haudenosaunee, where the clan mothers have held elevated status in their communities for millennia. And that leadership by clan mothers on this sacred land is actually what inspired the founders of this democracy. When the Constitution was written, there was input and understanding about the egalitarian way of life of the Haudenosaunee and the native tribes of America. So that way of life informed our founders and how they put together the Constitution, as well as move forward almost 100 years from that. The clan mothers of Central New York, all along the Erie Canal, by the way, their status in their communities, and by the way, they were neighbors of the women who led the women's rights movement here in Central New York. When Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Martha Wright, Mary Ann McClintock, and those women came together to talk about their discontent, by the way. That was language that they
right
when they talked as girlfriends about their discontent of their status as being not even considered citizens, or even owning property, and even the ownership of their children was not a right or a privilege at that time.
Right.
If you can even believe that. I mean, go back to that day. But those women were informed by their Haudenosaunee neighbors when they wrote the Declaration of Sentiments, which is what set off the first Women's Rights Convention in America in Seneca Falls. So the video, back to the video series, that's the thematics that runs through the 5 short films about the model of equality that the Haudenosaunee presented to us on this area of America, this area of the world, and how we, as girls and women of the 21st century, use that as a springboard to do our social justice work and to continue the work around equality, true equality, for women in America, which really to me means equality for women all around the world. So I really encourage anyone who's interested in knowing more about that and knowing how our girls put together these award-winning films, by the way, and it's on our website. It's available on our website. A lot to learn about these fabulous women who came before us, including Harriet Tubman.
Yes.
Whose street in Auburn, New York, I now live on. I'm so excited about that. I know Harriet Tubman. Auburn was her chosen home and final resting place. She lived here in Auburn on South Street for over 50 years. And so we celebrate Harriet Tubman every day here in Auburn.
Melina, as you were talking, I can't help but think, because, these amazing figures in our history, that stories are either now being told or being amplified, I'm tearfully joyful about. And I'm also thinking about, from your perspective, there's a lot of issues that are going on right now that are affecting, not just women, adult women, but the future generation of women. What are one or two of those issues that you feel right now we should be really focused and paying attention to? I know there's a many, but maybe one or two that you kind of like, that's popping up in your head right now.
Yeah. There are so many. I mean, equal pay is still an issue. Certainly, reproductive rights are an issue, and having an equal rights amendment in our Constitution is still an issue in America.
Whoa. Oh my goodness!
We are the only major we are the only democracy in the world. Are you ready for this tidbit? The only democracy in the world that, as we're speaking today, what is it, March 16th, 2023, we do not have an equal right amendment in our Constitution. Our U.S. Constitution.
Shameful.
Right.
It's shameful. It
is
really
shameful.
is.
It is. So there's a lot of work being done around that. I'm involved in that, and so are some of the girls who choose to in First Amendment First Vote. Coming up in July, on July 21st, it's the 100th. There's another tidbit. It's the 100th anniversary of the speech that activist, feminist, suffragist Alice Paul gave in 1923 in Seneca Falls, New York, at the First Presbyterian Church, where she spoke of the Equal Rights Amendment. Women had gotten the right to vote in 2020 and in 1920, and in 1923, she made the speech saying having the right to vote's not enough. It's just not enough. We need equal rights in every way. And that's when she spoke about an amendment to the Constitution that was 100 years ago. And we're still talking about it, having it in the Constitution today. So that's on the list.
Yes.
And our teen girls are always astounded by that it's what? 100 years and it's not in the Constitution. Many people assume it's just part of our rights and Constitution, but it is not. It is not. And so that's happening as we speak, and that's on the top of the list, because with an equal rights amendment in the Constitution, other kinds of issues that we have that are not about equality for women in this country would be eliminated. It would automatically be eliminated if there was a constitutional amendment.
Right.
Yeah. And the other thing, the other thing is that as we're speaking today in 2023, at every level of elected office in America, there is overrepresentation by males as we speak in those legislative seats. And where the gender gap is still 23%. So as we speak in Congress, there's overrepresentation by males, 23% overrepresentation by males. So those are two off the top of my head.
Thank you for that. I appreciate
You don't
that.
think about this much.
Well, speaking of that overrepresentation of males, Melina, my next question was, how do you help the young girls come into their awareness of the unspoken power and the unspoken handshakes and, the political underpinnings of our political system? How do they understand that whole elephant or that whole, element, so that they can start to, assume their voice, their power, their agency? What's that process like?
It's our program is the fundamentals of women fully participating in government, in their democracy via government leadership. And what we talk about in the language that we use is these leadership tables and decision-making tables are a woman's rightful place as well. And we're 51% of the population in America and underrepresented at these legislative tables. And for many of the girls, I'm going to even go as far as saying for most of the girls, it's like, really? When we put up some statistics, with saying, like, what do you think the division in Congress is of men and women in those elected seats? And almost everyone says 50-50. Oh, it must be half and half. And so it's the process is that type of initial awareness of what the real deal is. What the real deal is right this minute of women at decision-making legislative tables. And then the exposure to women who are in leadership currently at those tables. So at every session, the girls have an opportunity to meet women live and in person at informal round-robin discussions of women who are sitting in those seats currently or have sat in those seats as a former elected. So that's how we begin the awareness and the modeling, if you will, for the girls to see themselves as rightful places for themselves.
Absolutely.
Wow. Melina, I am so glad that you're here and that you came in and that you shared all of this with us. A couple of things before we let you go. Just want to remind everybody, listen, you can be part of this. You can go to First Amendment First Vote at 1sta1stv.org. This is a nonpartisan group, everyone. This is an opportunity for high school girls to engage in the democratic process and to imagine themselves in elected office or professional government-related professions. I cannot stress this more, that our future is got to be female. I mean, men have been running stuff for too long, and there needs to be more equality, equity, freedom. I really believe that. I really, really do. And I could, it gave me shivers because I just remembered that the great feminist Pat Schroeder passed away a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And it came to me, I had this energy went up the back of my neck when you were talking about the number of women in Congress. And I think when she got first elected, was it like two women or something like that?
Oh, very, very single digits. I'm not sure if it was two, but it sure was single digits and in Congress. Yeah. And it's just, the projections are that if we stay at the same rate, if we stay right where we are without moving the dial forward here, it's going to take another, I think the statistic is it's going to take another 120 years, for parity in Congress. It's like, I don't think I'm going to make it another 120 years.
Well, and I don't think women are going to wait that long. I don't know women are going to wait that long.
The girls.
The girls. Exactly.
No. The girls that we see, they're not going to wait this long. These girls at a very young age, well, young to me, but in their teenage years, they already have the fire in their belly. Mm-hmm. They know that they can achieve these leadership roles and do a good job at it. And they're learning how and what to do about it through our program. So that's really what gives me energy.
It's a beautiful thing living here in Washington, D.C. and seeing young girls and young ladies exercising their citizenship when, they're out either protesting or, with signs and standing up, making their voice heard. I cannot be prouder. I cannot be prouder. I love it. Listen, Melina, thank you so much for being with us. Everyone, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have final thoughts with Sheila, Chanel, and myself. We'll be right back.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame, living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Soulivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us. A place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
Are you ready to take that first step towards true, unwavering inner happiness? Are you like thousands of people who have everything they need, not want, but need, and still can't seem to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives? If so, the Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, you will learn about the principles and practices that lead to true inner happiness. Because guess what? It isn't found in our external environment, but within ourselves instead. Together with my guests, we will explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices. And together, we'll advise you on the actionable steps you can take towards a happier, more fulfilled, authentic life. So I invite you to join me each week on Soulivity TV on the Steps to Happiness show with me, Teresa Greco.
Woo, what a wonderful, wonderful show today. I guess we have to do some final thoughts, huh? Sheila, I'll go to you first. Any final thoughts from you?
I just want to say my heart is so filled. Melina, I love you so much. And what you do for the world is amazing. And my daughter, I have an honor of having my daughter have been mentored by you. And that's one person of thousands that has been influenced by all that you do. So thank you.
Thank you, Sheila.
Dr. Chanel.
Yes, I am also full. Thank you so much, Melina, for your work and your legacy. And I was telling you all earlier, you all know that I have a 14-year-old ninth grader who did come from an all-girls middle school. And so I'm so excited and I feel empowered to share this program and just any way that we can support you, Melina, in your First Amendment First Vote program and just spreading the word and, extending your reach all the way here to Michigan. We are so happy to support you and just to continue to empower our girls to be, those strong voices and take up leadership space in the political arena.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And I'll take a couple of quick moments of liberty here and just echo to you, Melina, what Sheila and Dr. Chanel have said. I look at this as something very, very real because, especially as Sheila, you and Chanel know, I'm now a grandparent and to a beautiful, beautiful girl, Azari. Hey, girl, how you doing? Another shout out. And I think about the world that I want her to live in and the opportunities that I want for her to be available, like stuff for her to be available. And she's not alone. And so all of us have to do this good work to make sure that happens for that generation and the generations that come after. I think a lot of the world's problems would be fixed, or at least it's headed in the right direction. And I think I think when we do this, when we have women be part of this process equally, fairly, with freedom, it's an act of love. It's an act of love for all of us, that we're seeing each other, that we're being aware of each other, our needs, our wants, our desires, and we're saying anything and everything is possible, that there are no limitations. So thank you. Thank you for being the light that you are, that never stopping, never quitting, to, your life story is a pure example of that. And so when Azari gets old enough, I'm going to be talking about all the leaders in our world, including you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you all. I'm deeply touched and absolutely full of this joy that you bring every day to the world. Conversations. Thank you.
I just want to remind everyone again, listen, go check out First Amendment First Vote. This is a pathway to government leadership for teen girls. It's so necessary. We have links in our chat that you can, check out and go to as well, but go check them out. Do it today. If your heart leads you, donate, some money as well, because, these organizations do not exist on air alone. So, that I think if you put it out, it'll come back. So thank you again. Thank you again, Melina.
Thank you.
Listen, really quickly, I know our hosts have great services that they want to, do shout outs for people to support people in getting empowered. Dr. Chanel, what about you?
I continue to have my free consultation or free coffee chat with anybody, especially our women, to continue to be empowered, to find out what might be holding them back, and to create that transformational change, to do big things like take up space in our political system. And so you can always reach out to me, and Brian will put that number in the comments. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Chanel. And Sheila, you got these soul connection sessions going?
I do. Soul connection sessions allow you to talk with me, and I will open up to the spirit, to the divine, and help guide you on your purpose, your relationships, whatever is in your heart. We will explore it together. And with the promo code SOUL23, you will get $44 off your first session.
Woo, woo. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And we've got some cool things coming up later today. First of all, if you missed yesterday's great Consciously Awesome Living on Joy, it is available on our YouTube channel. It was amazing, Sheila. Oh my gosh, I love that episode so much. Go check it out. And later today at 12 noon, we have another Steps to Happiness with Teresa Greco. It's every Thursday at 12 noon, but we got a very special one coming up today. Also, please follow us on social media. Listen, there's so much going on with us. You definitely want to keep aware of everything that's happening. So if you follow us on social media, or better yet, go join our mailing list by going to our This Morning at Soulivity site at soulivity.com/this morning. You can, listen, we're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be giving exclusive content to certain people. Like, for instance, if you go to the website for D'Angelo Thompson, he is actually giving away 100 days of gratitude cards. You can just download them direct from our site. So go check that out. Join our mailing list. Find out more about what's happening with This Morning with Soulivity. And on behalf of all of us, I want to finally say thanks for joining us for another great episode of This Morning. We hope that you come back and join us every day at 8 a.m. Eastern for our live broadcast, or listen to us at 9 a.m. Pacific, Thursdays and Fridays on KMET 1490 AM for all of you out on the West Coast. Until next time, keep on having real conversations that empower with passion and purpose, and create that best life, that high quality life today. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.